Field, let me tell you what. Cadillac convertible's got the biggest trunk space of any car on the market today. Any car. And you know what? I'm going to get you one.
I don't want a Cadillac.
No, I'm going to get you one just for the inconvenience.
Of what?
Of doing this podcast, being here.
I'm not keeping you here. Please, you can leave.
Wait, what?
Yeah, go ahead. Get out of here. I don't care.
Oh,
bye.
Should have taken the Cadillac.
Nah. We're doing American Made.
Ladies and gentlemen, please notice that exits are conveniently located at the front and rear of this auditorium. When leaving the theater, we suggest that the exit at the front of the auditorium will allow you easier access to the parking areas. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mike Field, and Butler's not here anymore, and this is Forgotten Cinema.
Wait. Don't do it without me.
I almost had it out. I almost had it all to myself. Each episode, we highlight a film that, for a variety of reasons, was forgotten by audiences. Whether it be a more popular movie was released at the same time, or this film simply didn't catch on with an audience in its initial run. We discuss what we love about the movie, or perhaps don't love about it, but we always recommend you revisit it. If you enjoy Forgotten Cinema, we would love to hear from you. We're on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Obviously, we're on YouTube. We have a backlog of 300 episodes and counting for your listening pleasure. What's up?
Nothing. I was a pilot. I was a really good pilot. I was the youngest pilot to ever join the TWA. And, it's kind of getting boring. Pay wasn't great and, working weird hours. And, I just wanted something more exciting. And then here we go. I'm smuggling Cuban cigars, get caught by a CIA guy, get offered the job of a lifetime, taking spy pictures, zooming over communist bases. But you know what? The pay still sucked. So you know what I did? I had a little side hustle. CIA gave me a really nice plane. I started smuggling some cocaine from Pablo Escobar and his buddies. And, everything's great. I'm making so much money. I have nowhere to put it. And the CIA is giving me jobs also smuggling weapons. And I'm still smuggling the drugs. And everything's going really well until it doesn't go well. And, things don't turn out great for me.
As things usually do. They don't go well. That's right. We are doing the 2017 Tom Cruise film, American Made. Not a Mission Impossible movie, which is amazing because that's all he seems to do these days. But yes, we're doing American Made. Let's get into the facts. And then we'll start, our movie discussion as we like to do on the show. So American Made has a runtime of 115 minutes. It's rated R, production budget of $50 million. It came out on Friday, September 29th, 2017. Its opening weekend, it did $16.8 million. Its domestic take was $51 million. Its international take was $84 million, which surprised me. And its worldwide total was $135 million. So
that's that Tom Cruise bump.
I don't know. It was very surprising that it did better internationally, but we've had a couple of those movies that we've done on the show that have done that. International has been bigger than domestic. Yeah. This film has 4 production companies: Cross Creek Pictures, Imagine Entertainment, Quadrant Pictures, and Vendian Entertainment, and it was distributed by Universal Pictures. I said it came out on the 29th, so let's go back to the 22nd, where you had a wide release of the Lego Ninjago movie, Kingsman: The Golden Circle, that's the sequel, and Friend Request, and you had a limited release of Loving Vincent. This movie went up against, in its wide release, Flatliners, the remake of the 80s film, Question of Faith, Stronger, and Battle of the Sexes, and then a limited release of Mark Felt, The Man Who Brought Down the White House, which I've actually seen. Did you see that? That's with Liam Neeson.
Okay.
It's about like Watergate, Nixon, something like that. I can't remember. Something like that. Or maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was Clinton. I have no idea.
I do not recall.
No, I think it was 70s. I think it was the Nixon stuff. I don't know. The week after the 6th of October, you had a wide release of Blade Runner 2049, The Mountain Between Us, My Little Pony the movie, and The Stray, and Victoria and Abdul. Of course, I watched My Little Pony the movie that weekend, not Blade Runner.
I watched Blade Runner.
Of course you did. I'm joking.
Many times.
Although I have seen My Little Pony the movie. I mean,
I was going to say, I didn't think you were kidding.
Children,
you have kids.
so yes. This film was directed by Doug Liman. He has done Edge of Tomorrow, another Tom Cruise film, Swingers, Mr. and Mrs. Smith,
a movie we just did 2 seasons ago,
and the updated version, the reboot of Roadhouse,
a movie we did for our now showing.
Correct.
When we first came back, that was, I think, one of our first ones.
Is he doing the sequel?
Because
he bitched about
no, because he complained.
Yeah.
I think he's still listed as a producer, though.
Well, you just
get that. Yeah.
Written by Gary Spinelli, who's done Stash House and The Amateur, which I actually just watched. Cinematographer was Cesar Chalon, who was nominated for an Oscar for City of God. He's also done The Constant Gardener and The Two Popes. Composer was Christoph Beck, who's done Frozen, Ant-Man, and the 2011 film The Muppets. Edited by Andrew Monshine, who's nominated for an Oscar for The Sixth Sense. He's also done Chocolat and What's Eating Gilbert Grape. Tons of producers. Ray Angelic, Doug Davison, Brian Grazer, Brian Oliver, Kim Roth, and Tyler Thompson. Angelic is an executive producer on Fright Night, the 2011 movie.
Movie we did.
For which Forgotten Horror?
Forgotten Horror. I think the
first one?
First or second. Well, maybe even the first, yeah.
Hey, guy.
Hey, we're not recording today, are we?
Cool kicks. Puce.
They're gray, actually.
You know, I'm always looking for a pickup game.
I've never heard you say that.
You think I can get a sixer? I got this hot date tonight and she's ripe.
Why are you being weird?
Invite me in.
No.
So you think I get that sixer? I'll get you back.
What's a sixer?
Beer, man. Come on. I thought you were cool.
Go away.
So, you let me know about that pickup game, right?
No!
I can't remember because were the first Forgotten Horrors when we started doing the commercials, or was it the second Forgotten Horrors?
The second Forgotten Horrors were commercials. No.
Yeah, because that was
Forgotten
one of our first commercials.
When we started, might have just been when we started commercials.
He's also done American Ultra. Davison has done Old Boy, the remake Old Boy. Chaos Walking, which is an episode we did for not the matinee. What was it called?
Was it called Now Showing and we just changed it? Oh, no, Now Renting.
Now Renting. Yeah, which is what we did for Row 8.
Row 8, yep.
Which I think they're still around.
They are still around. I still get emails.
Listen, I mean, I liked the partnership, but we just weren't getting anything from it except those movies, but I'm still open to that partnership. Grazer, obviously, he's done most of Ron Howard films, and obviously this movie. I think Ron Howard was at one point
he was in consideration, but lost it to Doug Liman.
Yeah. Oliver, who's nominated for an Oscar for Black Swan, he's also produced in 1917. Kim Roth, who's done Mudbound and Tower Heist, and Tyler Thompson, who's done Black Mass and The Trial of Chicago 7. This film doesn't have a big cast. There's a lot of people, but not big names in it.
Right. Yep.
You have Tom Cruise as our lead, as Barry Seal. I mean, you know what Tom Cruise has been in, right? Mission Impossible, Top Gun, the series. I say series because they're going to do a third. I actually just rewatched the 2005 War of the Worlds.
Yeah,
which is so dark.
It is such a very dark
movie. Like the fact that he has to like kill Tim Roth, and I'm thinking to myself,
Tim Robbins,
excuse me. And I'm thinking to myself, do you have to kill this guy? I mean, just leave. Like, I don't like.
I mean, you can't really go outside at the moment. But also, it's not the safest place to be. The explosion just happened 500 feet.
But he's like, Tim Robbins is in the dig and he's like, I'm not going to die. You're going to die. You're going to die. And he's crazy. Just leave the house. He's nuts. That thing's going to go. I know we're breaking down War of the Worlds, but it's such a like, not that it's uplifting at the end because they survive, but it's such a dark film.
The station wagon is the one that I'm always like,
oh, with the gun. Yeah.
They keep the kid still in the car. Can I take my daughter? And then they shoot the guy.
The guy just, like when if those people are not dead, which they all do die, because I think that those creatures come at the end, they just start.
They sink the boat after they kill.
They just start taking people. They start obliterating people. Oh my God. Like I mean, that's probably a good movie for the show because we don't talk about that film. Nobody talks about that film. Yeah. And it's like, it's a Spielberg film. It's a Tom Cruise film. It was shot in Naugatuck at the end.
Yeah. Every time we drive by it, I was like, yeah, that's the power plant. That's what
the birds!
And Elisa's like, if you tell me that one more time, I say it every time we drive by it.
What are we doing now?
American Made.
Donald Gleason as Monty or Schaefer. They have Monty. I don't think they've ever called him Monty. Maybe when
you might see it on the cubicle, maybe.
But he's known as Schaefer from Ex Machina. Frank. He's in the new Star Wars trilogy. He plays one of the bad guys with I don't even know what his name is.
General Hux.
There you go. And he's in the upcoming Office spinoff called The Paper. Yeah. So he's in that. He's playing the Michael Scott character. Sarah Wright as Lucy Seal, the wife of Barry Seal in this. She's in The House Bunny and 21 and Over. She doesn't really act that much anymore, but she's married to Eric Christian Olsen. She's married to somebody. So I think she's starting a family and all that stuff. So good for that. Jesse Plemons as Sheriff Downing, who's not really in it that much. He is, but he's not. He's in the season 2 of Fargo, that TV show, which I really like. He's in the movie Game Night and more recently Kinds of Kindness. Caleb Landry Jones plays JB, who this dude just plays a great scumbag.
Yep.
He's got a scumbag face and he plays it well.
He wasn't a scumbag in 3 Billboards.
Yeah, well,
That's like the only time he didn't play as scumbag.
Evil scumbag, but he was still a scumbag, wasn't he?
They were all scumbags.
Yeah, exactly.
But he was part of the sign company. Sam Rockwell throws him out the window.
True, that's true.
I love this. I love all of Three Billboards, but
Yeah.
that when Sam Rockwell loses it and throws him out the window, I'm like, oh my God.
That is Three Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri. He's also in The Florida Project and Get Out. Alejandro Ada as Jorge Ochoa, who's one of our bad guys or one of our drug dealers from Narcos Mexico. That's a TV show. He's also the voice actor for Manny in The Last of Us Part 2. I don't know if you know that in the video game.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Mauricio Mejia as Pablo Escobar. He's in El Chapo. La Viuda Negra, which is a TV show, and Pablo Escobar, El Patron del Mal, which is another TV show.
Typecast.
Well, I was going to say, what do all those have in common? He plays the same character.
Yep.
He plays Pablo Escobar. So he clearly looks like him so much now that I'm not joking when I say like there are other roles where he plays Pablo Escobar shows. So that's his thing. Hey, you make money, you make money. And then for a hot second, I don't know if you know him, you saw the guy from For All Mankind, Connor Trenier.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's also in Star Trek Enterprise.
Yes,
He's
yeah.
the chief
But
engineer,
he's supposed to be George W.
He
Bush.
did a really good job. I was
yeah.
like, oh, that's good.
Yeah. I didn't catch when I first watched this movie, I never caught that. But then I'm watching it, then I go, that's supposed to be Bush, right?
Sorry, Daddy's calling. I gotta go.
All right. So we both had seen this film before. I don't know if we saw it together in the theater.
I can't remember when I saw this film, but yeah.
Really? Well, if this,
I mean, I'm pretty sure I saw it because I remember 95% of it, but I just don't remember when.
We probably saw Kingsman: The Golden Circle as our.
I know we saw that as our Thursday watch. Yeah.
Thursday watch when we were at the theater, so we definitely didn't see it. I'm pretty sure I saw this in the theater, but who knows? I remember liking it when I first watched it. I remember it was like a change of pace. It was a different type of Tom Cruise film.
It was an acty Tom Cruise film.
But I remember enjoying it. I remember it was fun. I watching it again, I don't know if I do have some critical points, but I didn't come away from it on the other side of it where I was like, it's not that good as I remember. I think I still have the same opinion of the film, but we can kind of drill down on some topics. I'm curious if anything changed for you.
I think the first time I saw it, I was just kind of like, wow, that's some serious stuff going down. And it was kind of interesting how the drug running and the CIA stuff, everyone talks about nowadays, the 70s and 80s, the CIA funding the drug operations to fund the war efforts in Central and South America. But what you see here is, I think, interesting that it's kind of was separate and then ended up kind of melding. I think that was kind of interesting. And that was what I was paying attention to the first time I watched it. This time I'm just watching like, they make drug smuggling look so much fun. Like it looks way too fun and easy.
Yeah.
And I think I think maybe one of my more critical parts of the film this time watching it is I think it's a very fun movie, but at no point are there stakes until just he had a short life because he got shot in the face at the end. But like it just, there's no real tension. There's none of that. Was it The Informant with Russell Crowe? What's the name of that movie?
The Insider.
Insider. We did The Insider. It's all this like. There's a lot of stress and danger that comes with doing all this stuff, like informing and dealing with FBI and CIA and DEA and just all these agencies. And in this film, it's just kind of like light and casual. Look at all the stuff they give you. And then they don't even care if you work for the drug guys and escape.
Yeah, that was a little.
It's very easy. The whole movie is very easy, but it's a fun watch. But I almost think it's too fun.
Well, the character of Barry Seal, and the way Tom Cruise plays that character, he comes off as he's not smart, right? He's kind of.
Oh, I wouldn't
agreeable.
Say that. I think he's too agreeable. I think he's very go with the flow, no matter what that flow is.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, so that the way he plays that character feels like that's the way the movie's directed and the way the movie is portrayed is the Barry Seal way.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
you're looking at the whole world through his eyes,
right? And this is based on a true story, but it's not. But
it's very loosely.
Yeah,
what is Doug Lemon's got a good.
He
quote.
does. He's got the quote where it's a fun lie based on a true story. Because when you watch it, and I think modern audiences probably really aren't going to understand the stuff that you were talking about in terms of the 80s and the early 90s in terms of what was happening and what the CIA was doing. But like Iran Contra was in the news constantly. This obviously comes after this movie, the dates after, because
it ends with that little spoiler. Yeah.
You know what we should do? We should get the Iranians to
fund Contra.
Right.
I love that freeze frame.
And all the things with the Sandinistas, Nicaragua, Escobar, and also Noriega and all that stuff, like, and how they were training them in the United States.
Noriega's just like Noriega. They don't really talk like, it's all Pablo Escobar, but he's still dealing with Noriega. I'm surprised they didn't focus on that a little bit more.
Well, I remember when I was growing up in the 90s and in the late 80s, early 90s, like, oh, Noriega was terrible. But when you watch this film, and then when you kind of go back and look at history and just the snow job that you get done, like the spin, like, and when we didn't do Charlie Wilson's War for this show, did we? No,
I chose one of the movies. Oh, Larry Crown I chose because you had it on the list thinking it was Charlie Wilson's War for some reason.
But in Charlie Wilson's War kind of talks about, deals that same topic where the CIA gets involved in Afghanistan and they're just funding them. And then, lo and behold, they create the Taliban and they just leave. And it's that and you can kind of go back and throughout history, where like, you will see other examples of that happen, and
we do that a lot.
Oh yeah. and we are probably doing that now, and we will continue to keep doing that because we stick our nose where we think that we're supposed to be because of certain ideologies that people, that's just what it is.
It's like American way.
In the 80s, Reagan was all about the commies and the Russians, and he wanted to stop. And that's where it comes from. And then you have people that are willing to do that kind of stuff. And you have like Oliver North, who's willing to kind of lay on his sword for the Gipper and whatnot. So, but like, and I'm not saying anything that people already don't know, but like this movie, it's fun and I enjoy it. I don't like that it's not accurate with what happened in history, because I think the stuff that they're talking about is just so odd and strange to begin with,
right?
That it's too hard. You can't believe it. Like having a movie like this kind of lessens the impact of what really happened. And I feel like, because obviously Barry Seal didn't get caught up in all of this stuff. It's fun to pretend that he did, but he didn't. Right. I mean, I think the limit of his was he was caught drug running, and then they just had him. They put the cameras in the plane so that they can catch the guys at the end, and that was it. That was the only part that was really the truth of the movie. Right? That was.
It depends on like where you go. Film. Yeah, it depends on who you believe and what's going on.
So I don't know. I mean, so basically, I know this is where we kind of got track here. We were talking about our thoughts about like our rewatch and stuff like that. I still like it. I don't know if I like Tom Cruise in this film. I just don't know if I like the character.
He's too, like you said, he's not stupid, but he's too easygoing. He's too agreeable with everything.
But like,
and it's like there's never any, like, they even mention like the Mexican neckties, or say Colombian neckties. I'm pretty sure it's Mexican neckties. They're gonna put our tongues through our throats and all that. They were doing that. Pablo Escobar massacred people. He was not a nice guy. You didn't mess with him, and at no point, maybe when Barry's got the gun, then Jorge goes like, "Oh, kill the gringos." This is the only time Tom Cruise thinks he's ever in danger. And there's no, because of the way they portray Barry as just being so cool with everything. He's like Archer from the TV show, the cartoon show Archer, where he's just like, I'm gonna get away with it because I'm super smuggler. It's just like, no one would be that smug and flippant about everything. And I think it takes away the stakes of the movie.
Well, even at the end of the film, even when he is on the run and he never stayed in the same hotel, it was still not like,
they made light of it. Hey, can you just like, I got to start my car.
We kind of know what's coming.
Right.
Yeah. Like he's like, hey, I just need to start the car. Can you turn it? And we know it's coming, but he doesn't. But he's kind of resigning the fact that it's going to happen. And then when the guys show up to shoot him,
the hitman,
it kind of cuts to that, which I liked it style wise, where it's the video and the video stops. They don't really show the death, but again, it's not real then. It doesn't feel real for anybody watching it.
Because it cuts, right before he's ever in danger. The only danger is JB getting blown up, and which apparently he did not exist in real life. Yeah. But like when he gets blown up, it's the only time there's stakes. And JB kind of, even when you're watching it, I can't help but think JB got what he deserved. He stuck his nose where it didn't belong, was told not to do it, and then did it again. And who knows how many times did it, to the point where Escobar and Jorge, who already basically told Barry, we have
We'll take
eyes
care
on
of it.
everything.
Yeah.
We're going to take care of it. So you already knew what was going to happen.
Yeah, I didn't understand why he hid the car. Like, what did that do? That does nothing when he hides the car.
The body, just because it's more implication on him.
All the
but
stuff,
yeah.
all the stuff with the money, where he was having bags and bags of money, didn't know what to do with it. All I'm thinking to myself is like the Cayman Islands, bro. Like, open up. You fly all around
Yeah.
the world.
Start other bank accounts.
You haven't figured that out yet to not do it in your hometown. Like, it's just
There's no money in Panama, no money in
yeah.
Nicaragua, anywhere you land.
Yeah. You hire 4 guys. They show one guy cutting into the coke, but we never go back to that.
Yeah, I was like, wait, why is he cutting it? Because then he drops it. And I was like, wait, was he splitting the coke?
No,
while flying the
I
plane?
think he
I'm
was
pretty sure
trying to steal
taking
it. Yeah, he was taking it, but I'm pretty sure the cartel don't like that. So like
While
there was
he's
never.
flying.
Yeah.
I was waiting for I thought something was going to come of that too.
Yeah, it was just
There's no stay. Oh, Bob's asleep on the airplane. Let me wake him up.
funny moments, funny things that happen. It's
Fun watch.
But that was
Yeah.
that moment was also in the third act, and
Yes, it was getting toward the end. Yeah,
and I was like, that's not really a third act moment. That's like a second act. Hey, we're
still having fun with it, yeah.
The third act is where you need to start like wrapping up the seriousness of the movie.
well, you thought it was serious because the scene right before that were the DEA planes that were
Yeah.
just too fast and didn't have enough gas to keep up with them.
yeah,
But then you do a joke again.
Yes, yeah,
Everything's wrong. He crashes the plane. Immediately gets away with it.
which never happened in real life, but yes.
Well, that would be ridiculous.
And then I read that
you'd
Cruz
never-
actually crashed the plane.
I saw that, but it looks super CG. But it's like he
Well, some of
crashed it so well. But
There was
I'd have to look at the shots
He
again.
trained to learn how to properly crash a plane.
Right.
We worked on it with four different planes. And like Cruz is a trained pilot. He has a license.
of course he is.
So he's clearly flying those planes. But then he learned how to crash the plane. And I don't know if maybe he crashed, maybe like the initial crash, but like obviously when he goes through the streets and he get the wing gets taken up,
That's
I'm
very
sure that's
CG,
yeah. But yeah, I don't. And
I mean, it's still funny when he pays and he's covered in cocaine.
But
and
he gets
pays
away
the
with
kid
it.
for the
Yeah,
bike.
and you're saying he gets away with it, and there's no retribution for the fact that you lost the cocaine. We can't. How are we going to get that back?
I was thinking the same thing. But he's like, oh, because they were having the similar issues. In real life, I don't think Pablo Escobar would be forgiving about that. That's not the Pablo Escobar I learned.
I don't know too much about Ochoa because Ochoa was like his main contact, the guy he talked to the most, and he was like,
Right.
Pablo's going crazy. He thinks that everyone's out. So they kind of reference that.
They
Escobar's
do reference his
gone a little.
paranoia. Yeah.
But I don't know enough about Ochoa to really understand how much of a threat he is to Barry, which he is obviously at the end because they are, they're not gonna stand for somebody ratting them out and getting,
yeah, that's when I saw, I was like, really? Is that how he got outed? That's stupid. They put the picture of him looking at the camera.
Yeah, I don't. They portray the people in the government as they don't know what they're doing. They're goof. Like the whole thing is like Doug Liman goes, like a fun lie. The whole thing is just everyone's having fun and they're taking pot shots at the government officials. They're taking pot shots at people that work in government and the stupid decisions they make
Because they think they know they can get away with it because it's
Right.
American. They always do that.
Right.
I kind of like that. Like I like what's he call himself? The CIA guy?
Schaefer.
I like Schaefer. I like the way he plays Schaefer. He's not too serious. He's kind of serious. He's similar to a lot of the spooks you see in like CIA guys play in the movies, but he's a little different. Like I like that we see him in the office. I like that he's kind of just, as long as Barry does what he does and get those pictures, I don't care what he does, like kind of a thing. I kind of liked that.
I like it. I guess this is just what it boils down to. And you talked about a little about no stakes. I like the atmosphere and the mood of the film, but I don't think that atmosphere and mood should be for the full, what is it, 100 minutes?
It's like an hour 50.
115 minutes. It shouldn't be for the whole, like at some point, you are doing something that's serious. Like, you know what I mean? We just kind of outlined everything in terms of Barry's nonchalantness about stuff. But like the movie in and of itself is so nonchalant that when something that should be serious happens, it's still poking fun and having fun. And we can't ever just digest what's happening on screen properly. So I think that it's almost like a movie that when people talk about in corporate about going from good to great, I feel like this film is good, really good, but I think it could have been great if what we're talking about
Stakes
was
really,
adjusted. Well, yeah, you know, at some point it gets real for Barry. It gets real for his family. Like the whole thing where like she's at Kentucky Fried Chicken at the end. And his
I don't want to
wife-
go back to KFC.
And she's selling and she's got the
She's got the
bracelet on. I'm
bracelet.
like, what does that mean to me?
Well, she's still got to have a job, but she's clearly still got the jewelry. So
But what
she's,
does that mean to me?
I guess selling it bit by bit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I realized there weren't going to be stakes in the movie when the first time Barry's back in, where are they at the moment? Panama? Where's Pablo Escobar stationed?
Colombia.
He's Colombia at the beginning?
Yeah.
Because I know he moves to El Salvador because he got pushed back.
Got moved to El Salvador, but he was
So
in
they're in
Colombia
Colombia at first. So they're in Colombia, and all of a sudden, Barry's getting paid. He's got a sack full of money.
Yeah.
And then the police come and the military comes.
Yes.
You're like, hold on, it's going to be all right. Hold on. You hear all the shooting, but you see no dead bodies. You don't see anything. It focuses on Barry, which I do like. The movie doesn't try to, it does a couple times, but there's no real big scene where there's no Barry. There's very little dialogue where Barry's not in the scene, which is nice. They don't break away from it being his film.
Right.
But I see no stakes there because he's like immediately arrested, immediately breaks out.
He's got his teeth kicked. He's got his teeth busted.
He gets beat up, but we don't see it.
Yeah.
The only time we see him kind of get beat up is when the Contras kind of kick him around and steal his boots.
Yes.
And that's still played for laughs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so the next time he just buys them, pornography and booze.
Yeah.
And there's no stakes again.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden Escobar and Ochoa show up and like they show up.
Yeah. Hey, my friend. Hey, you're going to work for us again.
When he does get arrested, when he's in the room and the army guys come, that I liked that moment when he's like, are we running? And Escobar's like, nah,
yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry. Yeah, whatever.
But so I thought that was funny.
Even when he's getting arrested, they're still like, hey, tranquilo. All right. So they just know they're going to get out.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we're on the same page. We like the film, but it's just too much of one thing and there's no shift tonally that I think the movie needs. But whatever, that's not the choice they made and what have you. That's our main sticking point right now, I think, between you and me, that what we're talking about. Is there something else in the film that you kind of maybe that doesn't relate to that you didn't like, do you have other overly positive things about this film that you enjoyed, whether it's characters, or actors, performances, or I don't know, whatever lines, whatever. I don't know.
I think the only time there are stakes in the film, it goes back to stakes kind of, but so we focus a lot on Linda, right? His wife.
Right.
There's some stakes in terms of their relationship. She's upset with him because it's like, what are you doing moving our family at the beginning? And then immediately it's like, hey, we're good.
Yeah.
But there's no it's the same thing with Barry. There's no reconciliation. There's no thought behind what you're doing is what you're doing moral? Is what you're doing safe? Is what you're doing putting your children in danger? And I think that that's where they try to have some drama or at least some conflict is within Barry and his wife's relationship. That is the only time there's conflict in the movie. I wouldn't say stakes, but conflict.
Right.
And I think that because, there is a moment where they're watching the news and they know what Pablo has started doing. Because he goes, and that boy Pablo, he started, getting a little, the way he did business. So Barry knows what he's doing.
Right.
And
Out of sight, out of mind.
But Linda's got to know too. And there's no...
She never feels fears for the safety of them.
For her, and I get, okay, Barry, whatever, he's doing his own thing. You're probably used to that. But like your children, there's as soon as that money comes, there's no concern about the kids.
Correct. Yeah.
And I think that, again, I go back to the Insider and it's just like, that was their main concern. And that was just a cigarette company.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand.
Well, what is he telling her and what is he not telling her?
Right. But I think I want to see more of Linda because you see enough of her that I think she should be more of a character. And I think that, again, that's not stakes because there's never any stakes in this film, but that's where conflict happens. So I need to see that conflict because other than that, I don't think there's any conflict in the film.
Yeah.
So I would, one of my sticking points I would say is I want to see more from Linda dealing with all this stuff. Like JB disappears. What does Linda think? We've got nothing about
Well, that happens so late in the movie that you don't ever have time to have
it's like, there's 20 minutes left. So now we can't deal with it.
Yeah, you can't fit it in there. I think when you're talking about Linda, I think of the scene when he is being told by the DEA that the basically the ultimate scene that that kind of gets him in trouble when they're putting the cameras on his plane.
Right.
And he's outside and they're talking to him. This is what you're going to do. And he looks at his family and they're like, bye. And they're like waving and he just pulls his pants down. Like it's like fun and stuff like that. But like you're going to do something that is going to basically end your life.
Yeah. I had that same note in there is that like he moons them. I get it. You don't want them to worry.
Right.
But I want it could be as simple as he's closing the door to the plane, his smile fades, but he has that smile as he gets in. So there's like, he's like, oh, you don't understand the danger I'm going in. We're going to hold freeze frame on the kids waving for 2-3 seconds to show that he's thinking about his kids. But then he gets in the plane and he's all smiles again. I don't care. Nothing's going to happen.
So it's that Tom Cruise Scientology smile, like, you know, like kind of like oblivious to like the seriousness of everything.
Well, I think that's kind of the movie is kind of what if Tom Cruise smuggled drugs?
Well,
like, not even just Barry Seal, like
but
Tom
like
Cruise.
Tom Cruise he's not a character actor. He's a celebrity. He's a movie star. He's going to always play himself in films. You're absolutely right.
I get that, but I still think that Tom Cruise is a fantastic actor in films where he has to act. You know, we talk about Valkyrie. We've done Collateral.
He's a very good actor.
We haven't done Magnolia. Obviously, early films like Born on the 4th of July.
Speaking of Magnolia, he came up with that entire monologue.
I had just watched an Instagram video that said that.
He went over his house and he was like, "This is what I want to do," and he performed it for him on stage. And I'm like, Jesus, like he came up with that. Like, come on, man.
Yep.
I gave Anderson way too much credit. Like, holy cow. If you do not know what we're talking about, please go watch Magnolia. Hopefully you're not.
I guess the scene where his father died is right after his real father died.
Oh, yeah, no,
so like he made everybody on set cry because of his conversation with his father. He was like, I'm going to use that. I'm like, oh my God.
He's a very good actor and he's overlooked. Was he nominated for Magnolia?
I believe he was nominated for Magnolia, but he's never won an Oscar. Until this coming year, he's going to get an honorary Oscar.
Why would you want
him and like
that?
7 other people?
Why would you want that? I wouldn't want that.
I'm okay with it.
An honor. If I was
posthumously, if I was 80, if I was like on my way out, sure, give me a Oscar. But also, he's in his 60s, and like 8 other people are getting an Oscar with him. So that really lessens that impact.
I think they're giving it to him because of the pandemic stuff, and because he
saved motion pictures.
You know what? I wouldn't want it, but whatever. That's just me. I wouldn't want it. Anyways,
I'm not going to say no to an Oscar.
What's that?
I'm not going to say no to an Oscar, but sure.
What are you going to get an Oscar for? Not this.
Aw. Forgot the name of the movie. 2029.
So the other thing I wanted to talk about was that this film was shot on digital, and I felt like they were doing a lot of coloring for certain scenes.
Oh, some scenes look like they're straight out of a late 70s, early 80s TV show. Yeah.
Yeah, like they were using some kind of LUT on their Adobe Premiere to make it look like hot and stuff. And while that's great, and that's just the way it is now. That's I don't know if it's because that was 8 years old, because we're 2025 and they've gotten a lot better, but I don't know. It felt synthetic and at times.
Oh yeah, it does.
And maybe it feels. Maybe I noticed it more because there's such a difference between certain scenes and certain where he is. Like they just kind of like lit and colored different areas. Yeah.
There's one scene where he's sitting down waiting and it's like super washed out. Like he's wearing orange and it looks like it bleeds into the image, which looks cool. But like so much of the rest of the film doesn't look like that. The Colombia scenes where they first meet Pablo Escobar are all orange.
Yeah.
You get that heat. And then but the end of the film where he's turning on his car just looks like a normal digital shot film that could be today. Like it doesn't, like there was no established color to the film. 100%.
The other thing I wanted to bring up was you see this scene pop up on shorts or reels or TikTok. The scene when he gets arrested, which we joked about in the opening.
The Cadillacs. Yeah,
the Cadillac. I'm going to give you a Cadillac. That's a great scene. The problem is though, when he gets arrested and he gets brought in,
right?
There's never he's generally afraid. Like he doesn't realize that he's going to get out of it.
He is. Yeah. And then he sits down. And now he's confident.
Now he's confident because the governor called. But he still does, like, he doesn't know why the governor's calling. Like, you want to get that? It's the governor. And then he's outside and then he delivers that scene. It's like I don't believe that you suddenly have gained that confidence that you're going to get out of this because the governor, which is Bill Clinton at the time, is on the phone with the AG, with the lawyer, the attorney general. Is she attorney general? State attorney.
State attorney.
I just don't believe that. And it's a fun scene. It's great when you look at it and you watch it, you're laughing. It's great. But the reasoning behind it and the character believing that doesn't make any sense.
He's starting that scene trying to run for his life before the ATF, the DEA, like everybody arrests him. And he's, like you said, he's nervous. And then he's all of a sudden not nervous because he knows. And then he tells the guys that are apparently the White House, even though he thinks it's CIA.
Yeah.
Oh, I knew you guys because I know too much. I knew you guys wouldn't like.
Yeah.
What? No, you don't. You didn't know that. You were about to burn your airport down to cover it up. You didn't know anything.
I tend to notice this now with movies, more movies these days, or in the last 10 years, maybe, I don't know, with a lot of films where we talk about it often, it doesn't seem like the stuff is really completed script wise or character wise or story wise. Like there are holes, and I don't know if I noticed the holes more now because I've seen more stuff, or there's just more holes now because there's not as many great writers, or this film had one writer. Not that I'm,
unlike
pooping on Gary Spinelli, because I'm sure this movie had notes from executives and stuff like that. It just seems that like there's a lot more plot holes and story holes and character holes and motivation holes in movies these days, or that I notice them more. Because I can't come up with specific examples, but I do remember us sitting here talking about stuff where I'm just like, why would they do that? I don't understand. Like, so
it's also because we're analyzing them deeper.
Maybe,
but I just think a lot of films, like when there's issues with films that we like, it's usually going to be a plot hole. And I think that plot holes kill a lot of films. And I think that, and I'm not saying I would write a film that didn't have plot holes, but I think that that's why good films, great films take a long time to get done, is because you need to go over them again and again and again. And you need to, and I think this is something that almost every writer suffers from, and director, is just looking at your art, your craft, your product, what you created, and being like, looking at it critically, not just like, is it good, but how could a character get out of this? Why is this character here? What motivated that character?
Yeah, why are they making the decisions they're making?
Every scene needs to be picked apart. Like, you need to have like a dozen answers for those questions. And if you don't, you need to be like, all right, let me fix this scene up real quick. Let me just throw this in. All right, that fixes that. That fixes that. But you need to look at each scene under a microscope and be like, because every scene has potential plot holes, not just the story overall, but especially when we're looking at things, it's small things like that. Like within that moment to there, what makes him all of a sudden so cocky? It's like, well, then let's go back. Let's rewrite that scene where he gets arrested, where he's a little bit more like, all right, I'm just getting arrested. He's more calm. He's less scared.
Yeah. And I think back to my point about Barry Seal, the character that Cruise plays, I initially started off with saying like, sometimes it feels like he's dumb, but then again, he started multiple LLC fronts. He started,
putting CEOs in charge.
Right.
Well, he's been washing money. He just has too much.
He started that. But then again, on the other side, he's building banks. He's putting money in banks in his hometown. Yeah,
the FBI catches on pretty quick.
He's got so much money, he doesn't know what to do with it, and he's burying it. It's just spilling out everywhere. Like, so stuff like that doesn't match up with somebody who is smart enough to do this one thing, but not smart enough to do this. So it's that inconsistency in that character that bugs me, because I can't get a sense of, is Barry even, is he know what he's doing, or does he not know what he's doing? Make a choice so that I can, be okay with that and kind of follow along. So that was my rant. Let me get you two reviews. Guy Lodge from Variety says, quote, a sweat-slicked, exhausting but glibly entertaining escapade on its own terms. America Made is more interesting as a showcase for the dateless elasticity of Cruise's star power. It feels, for better or worse, like a film he could have made at almost any point in the last 30 years. End quote.
Yeah, well, I think that's pretty much like on the money there. It's just it coasts by on the charm of Barry, which is the charm of Tom Cruise.
Mhm.
And it's Tom Cruise having fun smuggling drugs.
And he's
That's it.
55 when he made this film.
Yes, which Barry Seal was not.
40s,
Yeah.
or something like that. Leslie Felperin from The Hollywood Reporter goes, this is yet another hyper-competent, boyishly devil-may-care character that offers Cruise, famous for his daring do on set, a chance to do his own stunts and fly a plane. It's not a role all that far out of the aging megastar's wheelhouse. These two reviews that are just talking about Cruise, not talking about the movie, not talking about what we're seeing, just talking about Cruise. Like,
He's one of the last big movie stars.
well, let me ask you a question. Does that, while Tom Cruise's star power brings the people to the box office, does Tom Cruise's star power affect people's like critique of the movie itself?
Yeah, probably.
It overshadows it, right?
I think it helps it because I think people are excusing the plot holes we're seeing.
Like we like Mission Impossible 4, 5, and 6. We've talked about
It's a great trilogy.
That's a great trilogy within that giant avalanche of films.
I would say I like all of them except for the last two. Even 3 is not a terrible film.
But
yes,
my
4, 5, and 6
my
are great.
point is with the last two. I'm not going to argue about 3 again with you. My point about the last two is that
Everyone seems to love it, even though
no, not even that. Well, yes, the movies are not as good as 4, 5, and 6.
Yes.
But everyone loves Tom Cruise in those films. You know what I mean? Like he survives the movie's tepid reviews. No one's going to ever say, well, it's not really Tom Cruise's fault. He's out there putting it all on screen. You know what I mean? Yeah. Even though we have talked about how they shot these two films, the last two Mission Impossibles, where they were just shooting set pieces with no scripts.
Yeah.
And just, well, we'll figure it out. That's not how you do it. And obviously it showed out. But yeah, so his star power is almost, he's viewed separately from these movies now because he's so big.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Because his effort into the movies that he makes is unmatched, and people just respect that now. They know that when he's in a movie, he is giving 110% all the time. Yeah.
And plus his charisma, everybody likes Tom Cruise as, I think, an actor in films, as a celebrity. Questionable life choices
we're SPs.
aside.
We're SPs.
Yes. And I think that if it wasn't Tom Cruise, if it was some lesser known actor, some up and comer,
or a young guy that doesn't have all the pantheon of his filmography, like a Glenn Powell. Glenn Powell's just starting out.
He's starting out. Yeah. If Glenn Powell was doing this with his star power rising, I think people would still be like, coast by on Glenn Powell.
Well, no, if he was doing this film, American Made, I think they would talk more about
I think they would be more about how, but it's just his charm.
Right.
The entire movie coasts on his charm. His character is his charm. The plot is his charm. His flippantness, Barry Seal's flippantness, out of any other actor would feel out of place and would be all those reviewers where we talk about what we're talking about, where are the stakes? Anything? But because it's Tom Cruise being fun Tom Cruise, we're not talking about that.
Right.
I feel like he's one of the last ones to get that treatment, though. Him and Brad Pitt, probably.
So this film is we probably have a handful of 5 to 8 films that are in this late 2010 window, 2015 and beyond. Like I think we've already talked about Malignant's probably our most recent one, right? Yeah. Who were you? I'm curious. Like, so people we can't really. Who you recommend this to? Because then we can't really just use like young people because they haven't seen this film. Yeah, but who are you recommending this to?
I think a decent amount of people didn't watch this film. It did better overseas. I think that one scene shows on Instagram all the time, but there's more to the movie than that.
Yeah,
I think that it came out against a bunch of stuff. We'll talk about why it's forgotten, but I think that people should go and watch this film because I think you brought it up that it's not a Mission Impossible film.
Right.
And I think looking back on it, this might be one of his last acty movies where he's like a character.
I think that has a lot to do with the pandemic too, because he does this movie and then I think he's got maybe a couple other ones.
Working on Top Gun Maverick, but that kind of shuts down.
But like he starts doing he goes to his next Mission Impossible and then he shoots the others 2 back to back.
Right.
Then he does Top Gun Maverick. So I think like he's doing basically what he can do.
Yeah.
What he has control over.
He goes Maverick, Top Gun, or Maverick, Mission Impossible. And I think that 17, 18, 19 range is like just pre-pandemic. And I feel like people watched what they watched, but didn't go back and watch some of the other stuff that had come out. So I would recommend this to anybody who likes films. I think to anybody who likes Tom Cruise. I think anyone who's like if you're a fan of Narcos or anything like that. It's a fun way to look at all that.
I've never watched that show.
I never watched it either. I wanted to. I know everybody liked it.
I just never got it. Well, I think Narcos Mexico is a spinoff of Narcos.
Yeah, I don't think Pablo Escobar is the first season.
Yeah, I don't know. So I don't know how many there are.
I have wanted to watch that, but I never watched.
So to your point, I think this is why it's forgotten. When we can go there. Okay. So if you start at Jesus, first of all, I love Rock of Ages. I don't care what anybody says.
Rock of Ages is fun.
My wife makes fun of me that I like Rock of Ages so much. She says there's something wrong with me. But anyways, that was 2012. Then you go Jack Reacher, which is kind of like a mystery action.
Right.
Oblivion, which is an action. Right. Edge of Tomorrow. Then Rogue Nation's 2015. Then the second Jack Reacher's 2016. Then you have The Mummy 2017. So then comes American Made. And then after American Made, you had Fallout, Top Gun Maverick, Reckoning Part 1, Final Reckoning. So yes, you have 3 out of the 4 of his films after this film are Mission Impossible films. But what you notice is there's 8 of the 10 films within this range are all action films. The Mummy's an action film. They're all action films.
This is his one character film out of all
right.
those.
So I'm very curious. I'm kind of, while I don't want to see the Mission Impossibles go, I'm kind of glad they're gone because I do want to see Tom Cruise in more films like this. I want to see him. And plus he's getting older. I want to see him in some stuff maybe we haven't seen before.
I mean, he's going to space next and then he's doing Top Gun Maverick too. So AKA Top Gun 3.
I know, but I think there is, and he's doing he's going to do, I know it's called Live, Die, and Repeat now, but he's going to do the sequel to Edge of Tomorrow.
They keep saying that. Let's get going.
Got it in here.
I
want to see him in stuff that,
flexes his chops. Because he can do it.
So I know I kind of hinted that why it's forgotten a little bit, but other than that, why else do you think it's forgotten?
I think it came up a bunch. I mean, I think the September release date was great, but it went up against a bunch of other movies,
right?
Including The Golden Circle.
Well, Kingsman was so popular, so the Golden Circle
one
was going to do big, and I like The Golden Circle, even though I know it's
not as good as the first one. But Golden Circle,
it's not as good as the first one, but it's so
stylish and
it is
unique.
Yeah. But I mean, in the original Kingsman, the scene in the church is like iconic.
Yeah,
so it's kind of tough to beat that.
Yeah, the Kingsman 2 is really fun. I'm really surprised there was no Kingsman 3 yet. I know he was working on it, but
I think it's coming, but it's been a while. Yeah. But I think again, the pandemic kind of messed all that up.
But I think that killed it. I think that it's just so many other movies.
And then Blade Runner 2049, which
Blade
was highly
Runner
anticipated the week after.
Denis Villeneuve coming off of Arrival, being a Blade Runner sequel, Harrison Ford, Ryan Gosling. It also had that star power.
That was highly anticipated.
The marketing push was ridiculous.
Which is probably maybe why the domestic gross is lower than the international gross.
Yeah. I think that Tom Cruise helps international because they love a big celebrity, whereas Blade Runner 2049 is such a talky, it's such a more of a mental film that's not going to translate well to people that are just watching a film to be like, ooh, slickness.
Right.
So I think that's what hurt it.
Cool.
And then the pandemic came and, surrounded by action Mission Impossible.
Yeah. Agreed. All right. Where can they find us?
You can find us at ForgottenCinemaPodcast.com or wherever you get your podcasts. You're watching us, listening to us right now. Go ahead and like, rate, subscribe, whatever you can do with the episode on whatever platform you're doing. Comment, what's your favorite Tom Cruise non-action film? Like a serious one. We've done a bunch already on the podcast.
Magnolia?
Mine's Collateral, but he's great in Magnolia.
Magnolia's
awesome.
I want to say the line, but I don't. I'm not going to say it.
So drop us a comment, like, subscribe.
Cocktail.
All that stuff helps. And then if you want exclusive episodes,
Feel Good Man.
Right after this, we are about to do our Jaws episode, which is our look back. So we have exclusive episodes on Patreon.
Risky business.
Check that out. We got merch discounts. We got Discord access. You can join for free just to keep up with whatever we're doing. I forgot about Taps.
He's got that line where he's killing all the kids. He's like, this is fucking beautiful, man. I'm sorry. I apologize. I think that was the line. I don't remember.
So check us out on Patreon. Like, rate, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Awesome. And join us next week. We're going to the 80s. And we're going to watch that movie that you all love to pretend you don't like, but you secretly love. It's Sylvester Stallone arm wrestling for his son in Over the Top. That is next week on the show. I'm excited to see this again. I have not seen this in quite some time.
I haven't seen it since I was a kid.
Oh, Butler, you beautiful idiot. Next week is actually Fury because somebody accidentally released Over the Top before American Made. So you've already got Over the Top. It came out last week and American Made came out this week, even though American Made was supposed to come out last week, but Fury is going to come out when Fury is supposed to come out, which is next week. So check that out on the show, as well as our over 300 other episodes, over 22 seasons, where I did not mess up the order of episodes. So since this is the first time since that's happened, I say not too bad. So check that out next week. It's Fury, not Over the Top, but check out Over the Top, which is already out. Butler, out.
It's awesome. It's so deliciously 80s Stallone bad awesome that it's fantastic. Oh, yeah. So that's next week.
Fury.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed. Go check out American Made if you haven't already. Yeah, and everything the Butler said, please do. I'm Mike Field.
I'm Mike Butler.
And this has been Forgotten Cinema. Now, why are you saluting?
Oh.